Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. This video is all about my Motovlog setup. I mentioned this previously in another video, but my intention is to be able to take this GoPro Max 360 camera and turn it into my primary Motovlog camera with the audio setup with a mic ran up into my helmet and an audio recorder in my jacket. And the reason for this is I thought it would be kind of cool to have just a clean helmet, not have to have the GoPro with that big audio adapter up on the face, and just seemed kind of like a better setup. But that did not come with easily, I guess you'd say. The audio turned out to be quite a challenge. This GoPro Max 360 camera is actually quite incredible as far as video quality goes, and as you're riding you're getting a whole 360 view of everything around you. So basically you have unlimited shots available to choose from as you're riding. And what's cool to me is that when you talk about motorcycle safety, everybody always talks about, you know, your bubble and everything that's around you in that bubble, and I feel like this camera does a great job of capturing that bubble, so to speak. The only thing you really can't see is directly behind me. You know, you can see off a little bit to the side here, but obviously behind me you can't see. But that's also my blind spot. So really what you're seeing is everything out of my left-hand mirror behind me, the same as I can see it directly pretty much over my shoulder. My line of sight in my mirror pretty much stops at the shoulder line. And then, you know, I can see the sidewalk projected back behind me. So you're seeing that same view essentially that I can see in my mirror without being able to see off to my right hand side. But you know, you also get the clutch and you know, throttle hand and all that, so you really can kind of pick everything that's going on the bike and frame it from that. And you certainly can't do that with just two GoPros, which is kind of become the industry standard for mid-level to upper tier motovloggers, is the one camera pointing forward and then the other one shooting back at you, which gives you that you know, full you know, front and back view, and also allows you to cut in multicam mode, which if you watch your favorite motovloggers, chances are they're not out riding for 10 minutes and able to script out their 10-minute ride and do it without needing what they call jump cuts. A lot of my viewers are also YouTubers and understand what jump cuts are, but for those of you who don't, a lot of what that boils down to is having two cameras means that you can start speaking, go into the you know, just nonsense filler words that you have to cut out, otherwise the videos become virtually unwatchable. And you really learn that as you start editing, how much you say that kind of nonsense. But having those two cameras allows you to cut back and forth between them seamlessly and make it look as if you're really able to cut those vlogs in one take, basically. So anyways, you can do the same thing with this camera and be able to jump around to just virtually unlimited camera angles, and that's pretty wild. So the way that I'm doing this setup currently right now, and I have a couple different ways that I can actually mount this camera, but right now I actually have the Rick Rack GoPro mount that I ordered. This is not sponsored. I just actually got that in a couple days ago, and it just mounts right to the bars, and it's actually a really, really solid mount. I was a little worried about having the adjustability of just basically a thumb screw to tighten it, but it seems pretty solid right now. And even if it was to loosen up, theoretically the camera would just kind of spin down on the bars and it would stay put, because it still has enough meat on the bars to hold it on there where it's not going to just fall into the road, which clearly you don't want with these expensive cameras these days. So this camera mount is really solid. I wanted to go this route because test rides, demo rides, all that stuff, you can't mount cameras permanently on test ride bikes, but with this setup I should be able to throw the camera up on the bars real quick and be able to capture more of the environment on a test ride. So hopefully this Rick Rack mount will be exactly what I need for riding a multitude of bikes and sharing it with my viewers. Now the audio, which has really really been the hardest part of this entire thing, is well, let's talk about the audio after I stop. Cut all the way across traffic here. I'm gonna stop at this auto zone. I need an antifuse for my car, which is for a dash cam video that's coming up soon. So let me go ahead and pop into this auto zone real quick, and then I'll get back into the audio setup on the bike here.
I can't breathe in this thing!
So back to the audio. That was the real trick. You can see here I have the microphone sitting up by my nose. Hopefully that's actually not getting a bunch of nose breathing. I'm trying to keep it away from my mouth so that the audio clipping isn't so bad. That is the one thing I will say about GoPro and their audio adapter, just GoPro audio in general. With every camera that comes out, the audio processing gets that much better and is incredibly noticeable. So that is a lot of why you see motovloggers today with that setup, because you know, the video quality of a GoPro, yeah, it's great, but you know, video quality you can find in a lot of other cameras. Audio quality is king when it comes to those GoPros. So with that being said, that is why you see a lot of those audio setups, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I'm not here bagging on anybody who uses that setup. As a matter of fact, you'll probably see it back on my channel, I'm sure. This audio setup proved to be very difficult. I have a Zoom H4n that I've had for several years that I tried to use in this setup, and I could not get the audio quality to sound great. And then on top of that, it's also huge in terms of trying to keep it hidden. So keeping it in the saddlebag and then running a cord from your helmet down into that saddlebag. When you get off the bike, you know, you forget that cord is there, and it kind of just gets all tangled up, and it's a huge pain. So I really didn't know what to do. I was going to just run a GoPro, because I have several of them, into my pocket and run audio that way, but then there'd be a huge bulge in my jacket, and I didn't want to really do that either. So I took to the old internet and started looking up some other setups and found this Tascam DR10L that is pretty common in wedding video shoots because of how small it is and how good the audio was. So I ordered it kind of on a whim and a prayer, and kind of ran it into the helmet. I've run some tests and it's pretty promising, but the one real gem with this microphone is that as it is recording, you have the ability to also cut another recording right along with it that is 12 decibels lower than what I am recording now. So theoretically, if this thing starts clipping, you should have a background audio track that you can go back to and you know, go back to that. So audio on motorcycles is really difficult to catch, and the reason for that is, I mean, you have, first of all, the microphone's 2 inches from your mouth, which is not ideal for any microphone setup, because the audio going into it is just incredibly loud. And then when you're not speaking, you have exhaust sound that the microphone is competing with, on top of wind buffeting on the helmet, which creates a whole nother category of noise that microphone is having to sort out. And it just gets really difficult for the audio processing to really figure out what to do with all of that. So, you know, this is supposedly, I think, the setup that I'm going to be going with, because some tests that I ran with it seem really good. I like the fact that I can just run a microphone into my helmet when I cut a video and then pull it out for the other times that I'm riding and I'm not recording audio. It's not always necessary. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Yeah, guys, with that being said, thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I will see you guys next time.